The next topic is vermiculture and vermicompost. Difference between the vermiculture and the vermicompost is that vermiculture is the culture of earthworms, and the result or using the culture of the earthworms, what you prepare as a fertilizers or an organic fertilizer is compost. That is called vermicompost. So vermicompost is used in agriculture as an organic fertilizers, and there are some steps involved in preparation of vermicompost. So the question was asked on like how the difference between the vermiculture and vermicompost, and then how vermicompost is prepared. If you Google or if you look some material, different people have come up with different different names, or they have split into several steps. But in general, we can just break into 5 steps. These are not very standard because one can be subsumed to other, but in general, like we can say, okay, it involves like 4 or 5 steps. So the first step is that pre-decomposition. The main raw material for the vermicompost is for the preparation of the vermicompost is that the solid waste or any kind of organic waste that you get from the field, or it could be cow dung, other leaves, etc. So when the waste is mixed with other solid waste or metal pieces or glass pieces, so they have to be separated, and then so such organic material acts as a input for a preparation of the vermicompost. So and then they will be left they will be added with a slurry or a water, and then left it for around 20 days. So this is called pre-decomposition stage, right? Even such organic materials are often mixed with cow dung or also biogas slurry, right? So and then they will be left for 20 days for some kind of decomposition to happen. So this is before adding the earthworms. The next stage is that earthworms are added. Earthworms are added, and then before adding the earthworms, there has to be a preparation of some base, in the sense that a horizontal platform which resembles or a kind of bed is prepared, where a suitable bed is prepared, in the sense that, let's say, at the bottom there is a cement structure. So over that a bed is prepared. A bed could be based on a soil, or could be coir, or it could be based on a paper. So such beds are prepared. So the preferable material is the soil only. So such beds are prepared, and then to such bed worms are added, and then organic materials are added. So whatever that organic material that were left for a decomposition for 20 days or so were mixed with earthworms, right? Yeah. So that is the second stage, is that addition of the earthworms. Then the third stage is that like active decomposition at the start of the vermicomposting. This will take for days. It can take like 7 days to 10 days, depending on the amount of organic material you have. So or it could be lesser also. So in the active decomposition phase, the worms decompose organic material. In the organic materials, there were other bacteria. The other bacteria is also help in the decomposition as well. So the end result of such decomposition when it left for a days is that nutrient-rich compound. So nutrient-rich compound is the end results, and then along with that, some amount of heat also gets generated. In the process, as and when the amount of the organic material reduces, sometimes there can always be a decline of the worm population. So if you want to just continue the process, we can add what we can do is that we can add some of the organic materials, or we can add earthworms also. So like by adding the earthworms and also organic material, like we can keep the process going. That's also possible. Or you can stop at that some moment and you can separate. The next stage is that collect the earthworms and the vermicompost. So you will have some of the earthworms left over and then also vermicompost leftovers. Vermicompost prepared. So we separate vermicompost from the earthworms that were there, and then like whatever the vermicompost that is prepared, and we will do it. We will store it in a proper packaging so that the proper moisture contents or the textures are retained, and then to avoid from the like other environmental conditions. If you want to continue the process, like we can continue by adding other earthworms. So in general, like if it asks for like say if you want to write for 100 words or 150 words, like yeah, so this is all the answer that is needed. Like then the next process is the packaging, as I told, right? Yeah. So and then if there is any partial decomposed materials, right, they also can be used for the next composting. So yeah, so like for 120 or 150 words, around 150 words, like we can just explain with these steps, and also one or two differences between the culture and the compost. You can also add like for example any schemes if you remember, promotion of the organic national mission on organic agriculture, right? I couldn't recollect the exact name. Yeah. So then add one or two schemes that are schemes in this direction. Okay. So then we can also speak of some advantages of the vermicomposting. So basically the worms helps to burrow the soil, and so basically burrows the lines and then loosens the soil, and it helps in the aeration process. Then so generally these worms are earthworms also called this should be humus feeders. This also then next advantage is this increases the efficiency of chemical fertilizers. For example, along with the chemical fertilizers, if vermicompost is also added, this increases the efficiency of the nutrition intake, and also that also means that it reduces the nutrients loss as well, right? Then it reduces the incidence of the pest and disease control. It provides vitamins and enzymes. For example, some of the auxins and gibberellins for the growth of the plants or development of the shoots and fruits, etc. Yeah, so it also improves some of the soil physical properties like the moisture, texture, aeration quality, water holding ability, etc. It helps in the balance of the pH, moisture, etc. The same point. And also it helps in like closed loop system in the sense that in the sense that it creates a circular economy. Circular economy is that sustainable practices. Like for example, you have an input and then you have an output, right? Output of the organic material, like whatever that is coming out of the field, that again gets reused, so that overall wastage is also limited. And then interventions from the external, right? External interventions also gets reduced. So yeah, another important point is that you can also add from the perspective of the climate change, that carbon sequestration. It is low cost compared to chemical fertilizers. It helps in utilization of the organic waste generated in the plants. So in the notes you may find like 4-5 points, but I have just added based on the understanding some more points. Yes, like when asked about the advantages, like you can generate some of the points like that, right? Yeah, so this is about vermicomposting and then vermiculture. Thank you.